looks like the microphones are coming up. I can hear myself. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. It is 7 o'clock Los Angeles time. Hold on. Hold the goddamn phone. Checking. All right, there we go. It is 7 o'clock Los Angeles time. I can hear myself. Ooh, what a sexy voice I have. Looks like the pod track is moving up and down. I'm going to check now for Streamlabs moving side to side. It looks like it is. Someone's going to have to chime in from kgxtradio.com and let us know in the Discord room if a little chat room going on there in our Discord server. For all of you listening in for your dancing and listening pleasure, it is Off the Record with the General. Why do we call it Off the Record with the General? Well, because the stuff we're talking about is declassified. It's got to be off the record. Can't have it classified. We can't go on the record with classified information. You understand what I'm trying to tell you there? Why do we add with the General? Well, I am affectionately known as a General. It's an honorary title, I can assure you. And the reason is because I'm sure somewhere someone has a copyright or a patent on Off the Record. Well, you think they've got a patent on Off the Record with the General? Not likely.
Did you hit record?
Oh, shit. No, I did not. All right, so
way to go.
Let's see. Record is recording right now, starting recording, and I'll even record it on here just to be double, triple, quadruple safe.
Unbelievable.
I did forget to hit record.
Your fans know more than you. They know the routine.
Well, that or they're a little bit more sober than I am, and they need to catch up. Maybe that's it. So, 7:02 Los Angeles time, broadcasting from the mysterious high deserts of northern Nevada in the Loop Studios, bringing you Off the Record with the General. And Gen X Mom. You see, I get Off the Record with the General.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Well, because you're a girl. So hi, and Gen X Mom's here too. Gen X Mom's tagging along. Doo, 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 doo. That's the music you get. Doo, 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 doo. I get dun, dun, dun. Off the Record with the General starts now.
Okay.
All right. So before we get going, you guys know that Off the Record, we're broadcasting on YouTube for the moment. It's audio only. You can see a little video thing, but it's just in a loop. It just stays up there because there's no pictures. No. In the spirit of Art Bell and George Norrie, we're doing things that are off the record, a little radio drama, if you will. And we're broadcasting mainly on kgxtradio.com. Now, you guys are going to lose. You guys are going to be without the YouTube. At some point, we're shutting off the YouTube, and it's going to be kgxtradio.com only. That means you got to sign up. You got to hang out. You got to go. Just put an email in. It's free. Just don't be such a big baby about it. All right. So anyway, in that spirit and what we're doing, we talk about anything weird. No, not the coloration of that big wart on your butt.
Nothing you do in your bedroom.
That may be weird, but we're not talking about it here. Now, if you're in the bedroom with an alien or a ghost, I'm all in.
Really?
All in. Oh, yeah, I'm all in.
You want to be probed?
No.
You said you're all in.
I want to hear the stuff. No, I don't want to be in the room with them. I just want to hear the story.
You said you were all in.
I meant that I just wanted to be in the know.
You walked into that one.
I did. No, so the ghost stories. People have ghost stories. People have paranormal stories. They have alien abduction stories, sleepwalking stories. Those shadow people, I never even heard of shadow people. And about once every couple weeks, somebody comes up with a shadow person story, and they're all very similar. Really weird. Mass psychosis or true? They're all individual stories. That's true. You don't know that.
That's true.
Before we get going, I wanted to talk about some little hometown turf thing going on here. You know, one of the things that I grew up being afraid of, and many things when I was a child, quicksand, Bigfoot, but a big one was the Bermuda Triangle. Now, I don't hear anything about the Bermuda Triangle anymore. In fact, every time because I went into Chat GPT, I went into Google AI, I asked some questions, I poked around, I stood up and demanded to be counted like everybody else. They all say, no, there's no more real disappearances these days in that part of the ocean than in any part of the ocean. Any well-traveled part of the ocean has much the same disappearances issues. And I went, I don't believe that. I don't think so. Because if that was true, that would have come out like in the 70s when Leonard Nimoy did In Search Of. I would have seen that episode going, don't worry, nothing to see here. Back to your commercials and on to another program. No. And I'm going to tell you, so I did some poking around about the Bermuda Triangle. And you can skim over it. First of all, there's literally 1,000 stories
about the Bermuda Triangle.
About the Bermuda Triangle. Now, apparently what they say now, what these experts go on these websites and they have definitive professors that come in with conclusions and they say, no, the same things happens everywhere. There's no more or less disappearances. Okay. I went to like the top 30 disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle.
Okay.
I thought, you know what? I'll skim through some of these. I'll do a little reading. There's a couple short videos, 4 and 5 minutes on explanations and stories. All right. I got a little time to kill. I could do that. All the ones that they say have been explained, they always say, well, it's weather or mechanical failure or human error like navigation problem.
All in the same spot.
Right. And
in the triangle.
In the triangle. Okay. So it's like, well, that seems like a cheesy way to say. It seems like a cheesy way to say, oh, it's we don't know what happened, but it's probably one of these 3 things. Well, no shit. You could say that about everything. If I saw a car pile up on the 405 San Diego freeway, I could say, well, either the pilot error or there was a navigation problem or there was a mechanical failure. Well, no shit. Or no, the other one's weather related. Could have been an accident because of weather related. You could say that about anything. That is a cop-out as far as I'm concerned, a word from the old days back in Generation X. But we're going to take Generation X and some Gen X talks common sense and apply it to some of the things we're going to hear tonight, starting with the Bermuda Triangle.
You want people to call in with their...
Well, if they had something like that, but I'm not finished yet. I'm not done expunging.
All right.
Or exfoliating or no. I don't know.
Try a different word. Get with it.
I'm not done postulating out loud.
Oh, you do that in the bathroom.
All right. So I went to one of the more common ones that everybody knows about, and that was the airplanes that disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle. The one with the ones from the World War II. That was a pretty famous one. When there's a Flight 19, and Flight 19 was a squadron of 5 U.S. Navy torpedo bombers. This is just after World War II, so we'd been flying all over the Pacific. These boys could fly, and they could bomb an island and make their way back to an aircraft carrier in the middle of the water.
Okay. Did you explain for those that don't know where the Bermuda Triangle is supposed to be?
No, it's between Bermuda and the south tip of Florida. That's the area.
That's one side.
Well, I don't know. The other side's Cuba.
It's about a 500,000 square foot area in the Atlantic Ocean between Bermuda, Miami, and Puerto Rico.
Okay, Puerto Rico.
Those are your 3 points. Remember, it's a triangle.
Yeah, I know.
It's not a line.
I know that.
3 points make a triangle.
It's not the Bermuda line. I know it's the Bermuda Triangle. I guessed Cuba. I guessed Cuba as the other one. So, all right, Puerto Rico, Miami, and Bermuda. Everybody got it? Good. Glad you're coming along with me on that. Now, Flight 19, a squadron of 5 U.S. Navy torpedoes, just simple training exercise. And this was after World War II had ended. Training's out there. The guy leading the training was an experienced instructor. The other guys are coming along. They weren't brand new. And they disappeared. And then, now, I don't remember this as part of the story. I always remember this part of the story. They always talk about the radio chatter and the desperation in their voices as they were running low on fuel. Okay. There's no running out of gas. There's no mechanical failure. Nobody said, hey, there's 5 of these U.S. Navy squadron torpedo bombers, and Phil just lost an engine and he ditched in the water. No. They were talking. They were saying, where are we? Can you help us? Can you guide us? We're running out. I mean, they have transcripts.
Okay.
Okay, so there's no mechanical failure. You're going to tell me that all 5 planes
ran out of gas?
They lost their compass all at once?
Dude.
Little gyros quit working all at once? Come on. All right. And was any of them complaining about, oh my God, there's a storm. We can't see the lightning, the thunder. I don't know where I'm going. No, nobody's complaining about the weather. These things just disappeared. Now, the part of that, I remember all of that growing up, different times. You see something on TV, you hear a story, blah, 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 blah. But I didn't know they immediately, now it would make sense, they sent out a certain search and rescue plane.
All right.
So they send,
as you do.
Like one does, as you do, they send out a search and rescue plane, and guess what?
That disappeared.
It disappears. Now you're thinking, okay.
That's 6.
Hold on a second. And they sent it out right at the same time. There was a PBM Mariner, sent that out. They're like, okay, go find the pilots. We know about where they were and where they were heading. Just get out there, turn left, follow the line. Even if he was lost, you know, they're all going to be floating in the water. They got their gear, they got their seats, they got their stuff. It's daylight. Go find them.
All right.
That plane disappears. The PBM Mariner disappears with all its crew. And they weren't going, hey, we're running out of fuel. Hey, we can't. They're gone. So over time, what everybody says is, well, the lead guy of the squadron, he got lost and he ran everyone out of gas. Okay. And then why couldn't we find the planes? Why couldn't we find them floating in the water? How come nothing is ever washed up on shore? No rafts, no seats, no duffel bags, no nothing. Nothing ever washed up on shore from the planes or from the pilots or their rescue gear. And then they launch the rescue plane. It disappears. Nothing shows up from it either. So you're going to now really, so now there's 6 planes that had mechanical failure. The first 5 were talking the whole time. They didn't have a mechanical failure. They might have been lost or disoriented or turned around. I got you. But the rescue plane mysteriously has a mechanical failure and just disappears. No, nothing. I mean,
in the same location.
Same location. Okay. So then you go back and you start looking at a lot of the reports because, see, not everybody disappeared. There are a ton of stuff where people had very clear documentation, some with pictures, a few with old film, because rich people with yachts, they had cameras. They did, even if they're 8mm. Weird, colorful storms, magnetic stuff that messed up your compass, messed up your watch. There's magnetic fields, they say, just all of a sudden, everything in your boat went bad. Everything on your ship went bad. It went haywire and wacky. Some of it came back working, some not. Now, you're going to tell me that happens everywhere? A lot of planes disappearing off the Santa Monica Pier. A lot of electromagnetic fields out there. A lot of guys on jet skis get disoriented. I don't think so. In other words, all the homework I did on this, they chalk it at the first thing they say, look, first of all, it just happens, okay? First of all, it happens everywhere. Everywhere in a well-traveled route, there's always stuff that disappears. All right. When's the last time we heard of a plane disappearing? Now, that one Malaysian one that they think the pilot took out the tracker and stuff, that was a little weird. You know, he took out the tracking device. But other than that, when's the last time we lost a group of planes? Anywhere in the ocean, any heavily traveled area. When's the last time we lost a boat and couldn't find it? Even they go out and find these things. And guess what? When things go to the bottom of the ocean, they go find them. The Titanic sank in 1912, and they found that in 85. These planes sank 30 years later in the water. They can't find them anywhere. I know it's a big ocean. I got you on that. It just seems odd that they're so dismissive. First, they say, happens everywhere, quit worrying about it. And then when you dig deeper, they go, mechanical failure, weather-related, pilot error. It's always one of those. And you could literally say that about anything. I could present you 75 cases of disappearances and wacky shit that happens in the Bermuda Triangle, and everybody could go, storms. And they said, we don't record any weird electromagnetic things now. We have very sophisticated equipment. We fly through the Bermuda Triangle all the time. We never have any recordings of electromagnetic problems. I said, well,
whatever was there left. Because we became too sophisticated.
Yeah. Or it's still going on and you're just not detecting it unless you're in it. If you're flying over at 30,000 feet going, hey, we've got an AWACS plane over here and we're not detecting anything. We've been flying over the Bermuda Triangle every day for 16 years and there's nothing that will fly lower. Do it every day, 16 years at 100 feet off the ground. Let me know what you read. I'm just saying, they're not, I'm trying to be practical about this.
So you think it's still there?
I think there's got to be something weird there. If I had to guess, what would make sense to me? The lost city of Atlantis is down below there. And for all that time, the lost city of Atlantis was communicating with the stars when Orion aligned with the planets.
Wow, you're combining two conspiracy theories now.
And the city of Atlantis, and when the city of Atlantis quit communicating,
Did it get flooded?
I think that the city of Atlantis quit communicating, so some of the signals might have not been so disruptive anymore. You see how I put that together? We called that Wunagi from the 90s, if you know what I mean. All right, that's enough for me shooting the shit and just running my mouth about stuff. I just thought it'd be interesting to take a little walk down memory lane on things that don't bother us as much as they used to.
Your producer has confirmed that she has texted you on Telegram.
Oh, she did?
She's lined up 3 guests for tonight.
3 guests for tonight. Someone chimed in here, and this is what I want you to do. You guys, 805-460-5603. You can text. Now, we have a producer, but you can text and let me know. Someone chimed in and just said, what about the mysterious disappearances in Lake Erie? I've heard about those. And that's not even the biggest of the lakes.
Yeah, it's a lake. It's not even an ocean. It's just a lake.
Yeah, and shit goes down there. You know, one time I'd like to do a little bit of homework on the Edmund Fitzgerald. That was, for me, in 1975. I was a kid, and you heard about that, and you're like, oh, my God.
Well, that's for next week.
I knew that the hand of Poseidon reached up and grabbed it and drug it under. I was sure of it when I was a kid. A kraken. Somebody released the kraken. And that's what happened to the Edmund Fitzgerald. Okay, so I got 2 on here. Maybe we can get a 3rd one in here.
She said on your personal phone, dude.
Oh, my personal phone. Yes, well,
your producer, you know.
How come I don't have someone answering my personal phone? I don't dare touch this. But if she deigns to call,
you don't pay enough for somebody to do that.
All right. Okay. I'm ready to read with the producer. Mr. Producer is behind the scenes. Justin in 541 area code didn't give me any story details, but he's game to be called tonight. Now, why would I call Justin in Oregon? And 541 is outside of Oregon, so that's like in Medford, Eugene, Salem, Bend, Redmond, everything outside of Portland. Portland's still 503. How do I know? I used to live there. Justin gave me nothing. Justin's going to have to text 805-460-5603. Justin, at least give me the topic, man. I don't want to take a risk and have you on the air and you start talking about how your mom's pantyhose don't fit or something, and I need to call mental health for you. Come on, buddy. Give me a little something.
Oh.
But we do have 2. We do have 2 in here. Now, I recognize both of these names.
Okay.
I've spoken to them before.
All right.
One person we talked to got completely stage fright and tripped over her tongue and couldn't talk.
Yes.
So we're going to try again.
Maybe she had a couple sips of wine and we're good.
Get a little riled up with there. Get the whiskey flowing or the wine flowing. All right. Let's call Britney and let's see what her story is here. Britney got a little something in here, and we'll try to make things calm and polite and easy. And then for the dancing and listening audience, this will be simple.
Your producer says Justin has a UFO experience.
All right. Well, we're going with Britney right now. So here we go. Looking for Britney.
Jello.
Hey, so I hope you had a few glasses of wine and you're a little bit more mellow this time, Britney. You ready to talk?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I want you to do is just relax, just take your time. We got nothing but time here. And I want you to just start by telling me, kind of when this happened, what year, where you were, what point in life. Were you a child, a teenager? Were you a grown-ass woman? I mean, just kind of fill us in with the details and then begin to tell your story. You don't have to be in a hurry. Take your time. And that way you can remember the details, okay?
All right.
All right. The stage is yours, Britney.
Okay. So it's not like deja vu and precognitive dreams.
Yeah.
I have experienced them, and they go kind of hand in hand, but experienced those pretty much my whole life, actually.
Can I ask you a question? Because I think we all know what deja vu is. Deja vu is the feeling as you're doing something. It's the feeling that you've done it before. I mean, we kind of know what that is. But you said precognitive dreams, and I don't know that I know what that means. Can you explain that to me a little bit?
Yeah, it's like you have dreams that, or here, let me. So I literally wrote down what.
That's okay. I'm guessing, so you can just tell me if I'm not right. But is a precognitive dream like you dream something and then it comes true?
Yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure because, I'm the dumb one in the group here. The audience already knew what it was, but I didn't. So I had to ask. Okay. You may continue, sweetheart.
All right. And for me, I'm special with the precognitive dreams. For whatever reason, I mainly have them. They're about TV shows and movies that I haven't seen before.
Wow,
Really?
interesting.
Okay, yeah.
That's
I want
interesting.
No, wait. I want to hear this. Give me an example of that. That sounds great.
Do you have an example? Like you can remember one?
Not
Not off the top of your head.
Well, do you remember?
Okay.
Do you remember it like when you have a dream and then you go to see the movie, but you already know what's going to happen in the movie?
No, it's like, so I'll come across, there'll be some sort of connection, like these movies, shows, whatever, whether it's someone else watching it or I pass it on TV guide or advertise somewhere else. There's always a little bit of a connection that makes my brain go, hey, that was a dream I had. And so eventually I experience or see it and like, okay, now that weird ass dream makes a little more sense.
Okay. Now see,
they're just so random.
Okay. The hard part for anyone is going to be to understand that connection. If you had an example, if you had a dream of, the Korean War and men running around in green fatigues and they're carrying wounded soldiers from a helicopter to a surgical center, and you can't, it's a weird dream because you weren't in the Korean War and you had all this, and then all of a sudden you see an episode of MASH and you're like, hey, that was my dream. But if you almost got to be, because I'm dumb, remember, you almost got to be able to connect the dots for me and just say, well, this is the kind of dream I had, and then point out to me a movie or a TV show. You got to tie it together for me if you can somehow. But I'm just a little. I get what you're saying, but I need a little bit more of the reality part of it.
Yeah. So like, it's also a lot of the time places that different businesses or whatever where I'm at out and about, I'll see just sorry.
No,
spit
you're
it out.
fine.
It's okay.
You're okay.
I get it. I get what you're saying.
Like you've been there before? Or you've dreamt
Yeah.
of
But
that
see,
place before?
That's kind of deja
Yeah.
vu if you think you've been there.
Yeah, but if it's in her dreams.
But yeah, like they kind of go hand in hand, like I said. Yeah, and like another thing with the deja vu, I'm a science geek, but I'm not like a Vulcan either, believing in nothing but logic.
Sure.
So like, but the main theory on deja vu is it's a memory related problem, and it's associated mainly with people with temporal lobe epilepsy, which I do have.
Interesting.
So like, it's an anomaly related to epileptic electrical discharge in the brain, creating a strong sensation that an event or experience currently being experienced has already happened, whatever. Anyway,
Some people, but not on the science side, some people I've talked to have said this is going to be a kind of a roundabout thing, and I'm not saying this has to do with you, but with that same feeling in a deja vu sense of like, I feel like I've been here before, and I feel like I've stood here before. There was one guy, this was probably in the 80s. He was on the news, and he went to the Civil War battlefield, and I don't think it was Gettysburg. It was something else. And he goes, it was the weirdest feeling the whole tour of the battlefield. He goes, he had deja vu every minute he was there. Every minute he was there on the battlefield. And then he goes home and he was talking things over with his family and stuff. And I guess his grandfather or grandmother, he was telling her about it. And he goes, she says, well, your great grandfather fought on that battlefield. And they opened up a bunch of pictures because they had taken pictures of the soldiers kind of standing in uniform or standing at their tents, and the great-grandfather looked identical to this kid. Obviously not the same, but this is where the supernatural, they said the memories transferred from the grandfather down to the father down to the kid, and they were suppressed. And when you said that electric synapses, triggers a memory, there are people that believe that there are stored memories of either a past life you've lived or a past memory that's been passed down in your DNA. You can't prove any of that, of course, but the kid didn't know he was at the battlefield where his great grandfather was. He had no way of knowing that. He just said it was a weird thing, and it wasn't till later that he figured out that his grandfather was there. So, like you said, just not just Vulcan and science. Yeah, I got you. Because there is, Spock was half human. Okay, let's not forget that. So, he did have that. He did have that irrational side also. But I get some of what you're saying. I just, Brittany, I just wish you had. I wish you had an example. That's all. I just wish
what's the story she wants to tell us?
Okay, I'm listening.
Okay. I just thought of something.
All right.
So I have a 6-year-old son. I think you guys already know that. And I'll see, whatever, like TV, educational shows. That's the word I was looking for.
Sure.
I never seen these before, and I'll walk in, check on him, and he's watching one of those, and I'm like, what? It pops in my head, like I said, that was a dream I had, and eventually it's sorry.
How exact does it line up with your dreams? Like when that happens, when you see something on TV, is it almost like moment by moment, frame by frame, or is it just a vague memory, or are you definitely sure you're looking at it going, I've already seen this?
Yeah, no, it's more vague, but yeah, it's just recognizable,
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it.
Well, Brittany, I want you to think of more of those things. If you think of more specific stuff, I want you to write them down and text me, okay? Because I want to go into this further. If you get some real locked in examples of stuff, specific shows or movies, specific scenes, like you can describe what your dream was and then what you saw later, I want you to text me. We'll put you on another show. We'll talk again. We're not done here, but I really thank you for putting forth your effort tonight. And you were much better today. You still sound a little bit nervous, but I was trying to calm you down some. But it'll get easier each time we talk. Okay?
I think I'm starstruck, is what it is.
Oh, that's so sweet.
That is so sweet. Well, thank you so much. If we were sitting side by
I
side,
have one more cute, funny.
All right, go ahead.
Story.
Yeah.
Little, nothing to do with the others. I half jokingly, half seriously say that my husband reads my mind.
Yeah.
I will think of things and he says what I was thinking about it right before I go to speak it. And then there's also when he leaves me, I somehow really always manage to text or call him and ask when he'll be home, right as he's pulling up into the driveway.
Yeah,
Aww.
That's pretty common with people. I've seen that in my marriage. I've seen that with my parents too. All right. Well, I promise you, if we were sitting side by side, you would not feel so awestruck. I promise you. It's not. I'm just a regular guy doing a regular job, just a dumb mechanic in the middle of the desert. But Brittany, thank you for letting us call you tonight.
Thank you. I'm glad to be part of it.
Yeah, we'll talk again soon. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye, Brittany.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
When she said that about her husband and wife, I bet there's people raising their hands in the audience right now. The worst one was my parents when they were playing cards. My mom, they'd play all different kinds of competitive cards, and my mother could look at my father across the table, and she goes, "You're going to play a queen of spades. Don't do it." He's like, she'd know what he's doing, and she could read it. He'd get mad and throw his cards. He would get angry because she could read his mind to such a degree. she would know exactly what strategy he was using, with whatever card game they were playing. It was uncanny.
Maybe you should tell them about my spider senses.
That was so weird. You know what? I had a business at a shop in California, automotive repair shop, and every now and then, some woman would come in and be a little flirty and wearing a little tank top, and she's, trying to get some stuff done. And man, I'm telling you, over 15 years of owning that shop, maybe there was 100 women that would come by like that in that situation, and 100 out of 100 times, my phone would ring and she goes, "What are you doing right now?" I said, my wife would call and I go, "Oh, I'm talking to a customer." "You are?" "Yeah, I'm at the shop. You called me at the shop. I'm at the shop." "Well, who are you talking to?" "I don't know. I just met her. She just came in." "What'd she look like?" "I'm not telling you that," because she knew her spider. We got to a point where we would just joke about it and go, "Your spider senses are tingling. I'll call you back." And she knew that when she called, and she was never wrong. It's not like she calls 6 times a week hoping that it was, no.
It was random.
It was random, and it always happened. The other one that's weird about you and I is I can understand if you and I are driving in the truck and we've been talking about a balloon festival, and then all of a sudden you may go, "I've never been up in a hot air balloon," and I'm thinking, "Hey, me neither. That's weird. We're both thinking the same thing." Well, that's really not a big leap if we were just talking about a balloon festival. But if we're talking about a balloon festival, we get done talking about a balloon festival, and we drive down the road in perfect silence for 3 miles, and I'm thinking in my mind, I want a chocolate milkshake, and you say, I could go for a chocolate milkshake right now. I start to tremble, because that's happened to us where I'm like, what we always say, get out of my brain, get out of my head.
Yes.
That's our phrase, because when I say something out loud that has nothing to do with anything and you're thinking about it, you look at me and go, "Get out of my head." And I'll say the same thing. That's how weird that memory thing is, that brain connection. So when people tell stories like that, I full on believe them. I've seen it with
I believe it too.
Seen it with my parents over and over again.
I think it's more relevant when you're with that person more, like longer time together. You spend a lot of time with them. You kind of know the ins and outs, the what have yous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some cool stuff like that. But anyway, so there you go. Now, just telling you that's a thing. All right. So we do have another caller. Do you know where Grenada, California is?
No, I do.
I don't either. Okay. Let's see here. We got a couple here. I have known the truth. You have wait. I'm Doug, served 22 years in the Navy. Listening to what you're saying about the Navy, I know the truth, and you have my number.
Ooh, the truth about what?
Now, hold on. This gets more interesting. I think you know who this is. His name's Doug. He gave me his last name, but I'm not saying it. He says, Mary M., our moderator, he's known her since elementary school.
Yeah.
Gave me her maiden name, so he knows her.
Yeah.
But he says...
I've met him.
Now, before we go any further with the next story, shouldn't we connect the Bermuda Triangle thing here? Shouldn't we be... Am I not... I know I don't want to interrupt the flow from Mr. Producer, but at the same time, you don't want to miss this. I'm going to call Doug. I want to see if this ties in. If he knows the truth, I want to hear it. All right, let's call Doug. Doug, pay attention, my man. Calling Doug, the Navy 22-year expert, knows the truth.
Yeah, get his background.
Hello.
Doug, can you hear me okay?
Gotcha.
All right, just make sure that I'm not on speakerphone or in your earbuds or headsets, because that really makes it difficult for the audience to hear you.
You are on speaker. Let me take you off.
Appreciate that.
Okay, you're off.
Much better. All right, Doug, Gen X Mom is demanding a little bit of background information from you before I ask you my question here. What is your background in the Navy that lends you to believe you might have an answer?
U.S. Navy Aviation, U.S. Ordnance, U.S. Navy SEAL. Been on many aircraft carriers. Hello, Mary, if you can hear me. Highly decorated, 22 years, honorably discharged.
Wow.
EOD diver. surface warfare, air warfare.
Damn.
Okay, are those good enough? Are those good enough credentials for you?
And your wife met me at the football game between Lutheran High and Village Christian, and we destroyed you guys.
Wow. Yes, I met him once, long time ago.
That's private school stuff. You know, you got to play public school football for it to count, Doug. I'm sorry, buddy. Just so you know.
Brother. You poly parrot.
Hey, man, I got the education, and that's what put me on.
Yeah, he was a poly parrot, so.
Why do you got to tell people that I was a parrot? Why do you got to say that? That's like the dumbest thing you can be as a poly parrot.
Well,
There's a badass looking parrot, but still, that's dumb. You know, I guarantee nobody got that tattoo after high school.
all right. He's
All right,
qualified.
Doug, he's qualified. All right, we've covered that portion of the episode. Now, Doug, I'm assuming that you texted in reference to what I was talking about with the missing squadron and the Bermuda Triangle. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Well, just go ahead and you can pick up the story from where I left off and let me know what you know.
On the B-17 bombers, there was a computer glitch. Not really computer, but what they called solid-state electronics. And the magnetic field wouldn't read correctly because when the aircraft got over 30,000 feet, and it was starting to malfunction because the batteries that was in the B-17 aircraft, and no aircraft manufacturer will tell you this, they started to slow down the feed. When you freeze a battery, what happens? Bingo. That's what you have. Altimeters go crazy, and your direction goes crazy, and your altimeter and your compass go nuts. And you circle around like crazy because you don't know. Also, during that time frame, when Russia was already in cahoots with Cuba back in World War II, there are numerous magnetic underwater mines to stop the Soviet fleet and or other fleets that's coming in here.
Yeah.
Now, I just exposed classified information, and I really don't care because I signed on the dotted line saying I would not speak about this, and I am publicly, and this is true. This is no joke. And I really don't care. I'm 60 years old.
What are they going to do to
you?
you?
Yeah. Take my stripes?
I'm with you, Dad. What the hell are you going to do to me now? Well, let me ask you a question.
I'm a retired senior chief in the U.S. Navy. What are they going to do?
I'm putting together what you said. So I follow it completely. Even with, just the dumb mechanic in the middle of the desert I am. I got you. But if weren't B-17s, I thought they were designed to fly at high altitudes to get over anti-aircraft guns. So in some sort of testing phase, wouldn't somebody have come back and landed and said, "Hey, man, your batteries at 30,000 are fucking us all up"? I mean, or did it happen every time or just sometimes?
No, it did not happen every time. If the ground crew did not thermally insulate the batteries, and there are 7 of them, you have to have them thermally insulated at ground temperature, and they were wrapped with asbestos, a whole bunch of other crap.
I got you.
A lot of people will forget to do that. And the most famous squadron that went down there, they found them, and there was 5 B-17s sitting there on the water, under the water.
Yeah.
But no, that's very true.
Wow. So they created their own problem in that case.
Correct. Grumman Northrop.
Wow.
See, it wasn't Lockheed.
Is that all you're concerned about? It wasn't Lockheed?
Yeah, wasn't Lockheed.
Well, Lockheed had Skunk Works, and they were part of the S-71 Blackbird.
Yeah, and her father helped design that plane. So that's why she's partial to it. He worked with Skunk.
He was a
beautiful aircraft, man.
Yeah.
He's a flight test engineer.
Any missile on this? Oh, really?
Yeah. My dad was a flight test engineer.
His job was when the pilots came back, he'd have to listen to what they said the plane was doing. He'd write it down, and then he'd go to his desk and figure out what was going on inside the mechanics of the plane, and he had to change things
with a slide rule.
with a slide rule,
not a computer.
to get it. Then they go out and change the plane.
That's how things were done back then.
Yeah.
Yes,
He worked on SR-71 for 30 years.
Yep. He was right in the beginning of it.
Well, do you remember the SR-71 Super that had 3 engines versus 2?
Yes.
Wasn't that called the Aurora Project? That was the next thing after the SR-71?
Well, it started out like that, but then it moved on.
Yeah, my dad retired.
The Aurora Project is something else.
Yeah, my dad retired right as they were going into that.
Do you want
that thing.
I saw something a couple years ago. I didn't know that on how they named it the SR-71. They didn't. They named it the SR-17. That's what Lockheed Skunk Works named it. And a guy got up at a press briefing, and he was announcing this plane, and he read it wrong. He read it out to newspaper corps, the press corps, as the SR-71, even though his paper in front of him said SR-17.
Dyslexia set in at the moment.
And they went, fuck it. Everybody's calling it that, and it sounds better anyway. So they just left it.
And there you go.
That's pretty good. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Very good.
That's far out, man. Yeah.
Crazy.
Well,
It is. It's the only bird that can outrun a missile traveling at Mach 5. And when they light that thing up,
yeah.
And you see the afterburners kick in, and you will see 5 glow rings that are coming out of the exhaust turkey feathers. And when it lights up, that thing is traveling at 8.0 Mach.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I've never heard anything go that fast. 8?
Dude, I'm telling you, it's classified, but it's true.
8.
This thing will, yes.
I don't even know if they had stuff that would the heat resistant at 8. That's fast, man. That's really fast.
I know it is. And they classified it at 3.5, but it can do 8.
Now,
with the ceramic and all the other stuff on the leading edges, on the ailerons and the elevators and the whole 9 yards, it did it.
Well, I don't know, man.
And they didn't want anybody to know.
Like 60 years later, I saw Top Gun Maverick, and he barely did 10. So I don't know, man. And, Top Gun, they said, was a documentary. So, it's got to be true, eh?
Oh, my gosh.
The stupid thing that was on the flight deck when they were filming Top Gun.
What was on the flight deck?
I was.
Oh, you were on the flight. Wait, for Top Gun or Top Gun Maverick?
Top Gun.
Oh, okay. Well, I was saying Top Gun Maverick, they show Tom Cruise doing Mach 10. So I guess you're right. It is possible because I saw it in that documentary, Top Gun Maverick. It's pretty clear, man. Got to believe what Hollywood tells you. Pretty locked in.
Not really. I go by the facts.
Well,
by the facts.
The fact is, I've never seen anything move that fast. That I just can't even imagine that. I'll tell you what, though.
It's true. True.
My grandfather had they're all passed away, so I'm going to say his name was Ralph Metcalf. And Ralph Metcalf was part of the SR-71 project. He was one of the ground crew. And I actually got, for a long time, I carried parachute straps from the parachute that would slow the SR-71 down when they burn them or blow through them or cut them. You get these big, long lengths of it, and he'd take them home, and he gave me a couple. But he was the first one to tell me. I was a kid, and he said, if you're ever standing next to that thing, it's leaking fuel all over the place. And I'm like, they wouldn't build a plane that leaked fuel. And then sure enough, 20 years later, they do a documentary on it, and they show it. Leaking fuel on the runway, just sitting there.
It's leaking fuel. It's leaking hydraulic fluid, the whole 9 yards. And when it gets up to 30, 40, 50, 60,000 feet, it seals up like a drum.
Yeah, that's what they said. That's incredible engineering to be able to account for that much, the shift in the metal, and it lines up perfect when you're done. That's insane.
It is. Well, thank your wife because, I think she said her father or grandfather was part of it.
Yeah, her father was.
My dad was.
Here's another thing. Yeah. So if that could explain why the B-17s went down, but why would a flight of fighter planes go down, and a PB Mariner. Those, they weren't flying at 30,000 feet. Those are ones that are pretty close to the ground. In fact, I don't even know that the Avengers back in that time could fly that high, could they?
The Avengers?
Same problem.
Oh.
Yeah, the TBM Avenger. There's a
okay,
torpedo bomber. That's the squadron of 5 that went down. But if they had,
I can only assume. Same problem. But what I was referring to was the B-17s.
Sure. Yeah.
And because everything on the generators inside the aircraft, provide the electricity to the batteries.
Right.
Even when you get up 10,000, 20,000 feet, it's cold, dude.
Yep.
And those batteries have to be protected, and they have to be thermally protected back in that day, because if they got too cold, what happens? Your voltage basically dies. Even though you're feeding the battery, you can't feed the instrumentation, and it's going to die. And you got to remember, a fighter jet or plane is a lot lighter skin, and they don't have all the heating that they had.
Well, I think
a lot of pilots will come back and land and say, "Man, it's colder than hell up there." And
also,
that's exactly what they would say.
I know that I've listened to stories before with guys who've flown those planes and said that, like you just said, the different metals they were made with weren't really thinking about conducting electricity as much as they are today. I mean, they're shielded, wiring is shielded, wiring is safe, way more than it was in the 40s and 50s even. So
exactly.
The plane structure itself can become a problem. That's what they say.
Because they're all aluminum subframed.
Yeah. Well, my man, I'm really glad you gave a call in there. I really appreciate you taking time with this. I do appreciate your insight. And if the black helicopters come, please don't blame me. You kind of brought that on yourself, my man.
No worries. I enjoyed it. Mary, shoots me the link every time you guys are on.
Yeah.
And I chime in. And I don't know if you remember this, but I was a guy with the 64 Falcon with the Shafroth Racing 427.
Yeah, I do remember now. Yeah.
That thing's built to the hilt.
Right on.
And I was asking you if the carb was too much. I got a 950 quick fuel on it, but the cam on this thing is 585, 595 lift, and 11-to-1 compression.
Well, then you got a bunch of throat. Yeah, you got a bunch of throat. You got to have some carb, man. You have to have some ports for that. It wouldn't go anywhere if you didn't.
Well, no, it does low 10s in the quarter.
Yeah, well,
streak drag radials.
I bet when you take off, you can see your gas gauge just drop 1 gallon, 2 gallons, 3 gallons.
Oh my God, 110 octane fuel is expensive these days.
And it drinks it. Your motor drinks it, man, like it's hot in the summertime. All right, we got to get back to the. You and I are just gonna have a personal conversation. Everyone's just gonna have to listen in. I got to let you go, my man. We got more stuff to talk about, but please understand, I do really appreciate you taking time with us this evening.
No. I appreciate it myself. You got my number. Give me a call anytime.
Yes, sir. Right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So that turned out to be an interesting call.
Mm-hmm.
He was pretty vehement, like, I don't give a shit anymore. I'm just going to say it. I've been holding this in for decades, and fuck it. It's coming out.
That's what I was hoping my dad would do on his deathbed, but damn it.
No.
Took it to his grave.
Because the SR-71 still probably has secrets. This guy's talking about some,
There's no more secrets. I found the flight
the flight manual
in a hobby shop.
Used bookstore one day. Well, all right. So we're not done yet. We had a little more to go here. Don't. Now you said we had other people to call. We got through Brady. We had talked to Doug, 22 years in the Navy, and he had some answers for us there. Now, who the other one was Rob. Now, Rob has called before. If I remember right, Rob had a little bit of trouble getting to the point.
Rob is in YouTube chat right now, too.
All right. Well, Rob is going to get a phone call.
Okay, Rob, get ready.
And Rob is going to have to explain to us what his story is and then get through the story in a wonderful, enlightening, and colorful fashion for all to dance and listen to. All right, here we go.
Hold his hand through the whole thing.
I promise.
Okay. All right, Rob, here it comes.
Calling up Rob. Let's see if the phone is ringing for our buddy Rob.
All right, hold on. Give me a second. Let me go outside.
Uh-oh.
You know, that's 2 shows we've done today where we started off on one topic and got off on cars. That's happened twice today.
Unbelievable.
All right, Rob is situating
Speaking
himself.
of cars, Audi's king.
What's
Audi's king?
Yeah,
Don't
Audi.
get me started on Audi. I don't want to talk to you about Audi. Don't go down that road. Lease an Audi, trade it in 2 years. Lease another one because that's the only way they stay on the road. All right, Rob, don't have us on speakerphone. Don't have us on earpieces because it makes it really hard for the audience to hear you. And let me know when you're ready to start talking and we can begin.
Hang on real quick. I walk into a bicycle. It just fell. All right, so my story is about being in jail, because that's fun. We've all been there at least once, right?
No, I don't know what that's like.
No?
No. But I will take your word for everything you're about to tell me. All right, let's hear your jail story, Rob. What do you got?
Okay, so I was in there on some charges. My cellmate was getting out. He got his bedroll, got out, and I turn around. The door to my cell's open. Shows the Sally Port door and the door behind it.
Okay.
You know? I was like, oh man, something told me maybe I should try a run. But I started walking back to my cell. I started walking back to my cell and sat down. The door closed behind me, and I heard that was a smart choice. I saw that. Good job, basically. Fast forward a little bit to lower security where there's no doors on the cells. They're just basically caves, and there's a bathroom that everybody uses in the middle.
Right.
And a desk down at the where the guard sits. Well, the sergeant who was watching us that night came in and set his dinner down and left. Stupid idea by the guard, but that's not me. I go to the bathroom, and as I'm sitting down on the throne, I hear the bag, and I'm like, oh, man. So I look lower because, you know, you can't see anything. Otherwise, you're seen as an informant.
Right.
The sergeant comes back, sees that his food is gone, and I'm walking out of the cell because, like I said, there's no door coming back from the bathroom. He makes me lay down and all that fun stuff. So fast forward a little bit to the morning. That same guard that saw me not run, or, you know, from the first time,
Yeah.
he saw me, and he was like, do you think this guy stole your food? He was like, yeah. He was like, I know for a fact this guy would not make a boneheaded choice like that and steal something. He had a chance to run and went to his cell. So I basically got off free from that because of that.
Okay. So the voice you heard in the first time, you didn't know who it was, but then you did later?
Yeah.
Well, Rob, that's not much of a story, man. I'm trying to get the twist to it here, buddy. I mean, it's a strange coincidence. I'll give you that. You know, sometime later, the same guard was also the one advocating for you because he saw you not run. But that's just like an interesting story, man. Unless I'm missing the paranormal part of that. That just seems like far out, man. That's like, let's have another drink. That sounds like the first story you would tell when you sat down at the bar to drink with your buddies, not the last story. You know, Laura, you're like, I've been saving up this story. I got a really good one for you. Unless I'm missing something, Rob. Come on, man. Tell me something I'm missing here.
No, basically the moral of the story was do the right thing and somebody will look out for you.
Okay, that's still
That's what
Rob, man. That's Rob. That's still not paranormal. There's no Bigfoot. There's no Loch Ness monster. There's no ghost. There's no alien. There's no mind reading. The only way this is going to become anything at all is if Britney Armstrong, listening to this, goes, "Holy shit! I had a dream about a guy who didn't eat the guy's lunch in jail, and then now here it is on the show, and she's going to call me right now and go, General, I had this dream a few weeks ago. This all makes sense. And if that doesn't happen, Rob, I got to tell you, man, that was kind of a swing and a miss, buddy. I love you. You're going to have to come up with something a little bit better, okay?
Man, now I feel bad because I
No,
felt all
don't
good
feel
about it, but
bad. He does that to everybody.
No, it's all good.
He does it to
No,
everybody.
I have a goal of I want to be entertaining.
Yeah.
You know, like a high point, but
It takes practice.
another swing and a miss. My track record is I'll hit a home run, then I'll miss the next time, then I'll come back and redeem myself, then I'll miss again.
You know what that's called?
So maybe I'll just have to come back and do
A
it again.
slump.
A slump? Let me tell you something about your description there with the baseball analogy. Maybe this will help make you feel better because that's exactly how it works. Listen to this. In the 20s, early 30s, who was the home run king in baseball? Who hit more home runs than anybody? Do you know?
Right off the top of my head wants to say Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth is
Jackie
right.
Robinson?
No, Babe Ruth is right. That guy smacked more home runs than anybody. Guess what other title he held in that same year? More strikeouts. He had lots of home runs and he had lots of strikeouts. More than anybody. Don't think that you're not going to whiff a few, that you're going to have home run and then you're going to strike out and then home run. That's how it goes. And look at Babe Ruth. And he was remembered for his home runs. So, Rob, you want to do that in entertainment? You keep practicing, keep falling on your face. All comics do. They go flat. They have bad sets. But you keep going. Eventually, you get better at it. I promise you. All right, Rob?
That's right.
All right, I appreciate it. I'll redeem myself. I promise.
All
There we
right,
go.
Rob. Have a
That's
good
what
night.
I want to hear. All right, Rob. Thanks for calling in. We'll talk soon.
Yes. You
All right,
guys have a
bye-bye.
good night.
You too.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, bye.
We're going to defend him. I was making fun of him because that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm teasing him a little bit. And then you come get your mom voice on. Oh, Rob, he does this to everybody. Rob,
You do.
It's okay,
I have to tell
Rob.
people.
Oh, my God. Got to have a little thick skin there, woman. Just go with the program here. It's my job. You got to admit, for all the audience, for the jury of the audience that we submit these stories to, if they're sitting there going, all right, the story wasn't that funny, but the general made it funny at the end. All right, so was there one more in here?
Did you check your personal phone?
No, I didn't check my I never check my personal phone during showtimes.
Your producer is, texting
That is
you.
extremely unprofessional.
Right.
All right. Let's see. Let's see.
Come on, man.
No, there's nothing in here from the producer. All it is
Telegram?
all it is Danny H flexing his Navy muscles.
Did she send it to you? Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I'm in Telegram. Shut up. I'm doing it. There's nothing in here. Okay. So
Guess you're on your own.
I guess I'm on my own. Now, there was two in here because someone had texted in. And then we have the one, we haven't talked to Justin tonight. And Justin had one. So let's see if Justin's in here.
Oh, yeah. UFO experience.
Do you have a story about a UFO outside of Grenada? I wanted you to look that up. You're supposed to
Grenada or Grenada?
I don't know. Look, if you saw a Ford Granada built in 1977 and it passed you by, would you call it a Ford Granada or a Ford Grenada?
Grenada.
Okay, well then it's Grenada, California. How's that?
Okay.
I don't know where that is. I'd like to know where that is.
El Granada.
Just says Grenada. I don't know.
El Granada is down south, way south.
All right. All right.
Half Moon Bay. Oh, no, wait. Not Half Moon Bay is up north.
We're going to talk to, make sure you got the number right. 5161. Yeah, this is him, and this is Justin. I'm calling Justin right now since you can't figure out where Grenada is. Justin.
Well, there's two different. Grenada is near
your
White.
time's over.
Above
We're
Weed.
calling.
Hello?
Hey, Justin. This is the General.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Make sure that I'm not on speakerphone and make sure that you don't have any headphones in because it's really hard for the audience to hear you.
Okay, gotcha.
Are we good, or do you need a minute to readjust there? You got to turn your radio down. I can hear myself in the background.
I can hear myself, too.
There, how's that?
Much better. Okay. First of all, where's Grenada or Grenada? Where is that?
It's in between Weed and Wairika, more closer to Wairika, about 5 miles south.
Okay, so it's on the 5, not the 97 as you leave Weed. Okay.
Yeah, correct.
All right. And you said you have a story about something from that. Can you tell us about how old you were? What year it was back then, and then kind of fill us in. Give us a little bit of the story here, and then we'll go from there, Justin.
Okay, 47 is probably 3 years ago.
Oh, recently. Okay.
Yeah, and I was coming from Weed, heading to Grenada, and I seen about, rough guesstimate, 15 to 20 lights in a kind of scattered straight line.
All right.
If that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah. Not equally spaced apart, I'm guessing.
Right.
Okay.
And I continued driving and looked up, and it was gone. I couldn't find it anywhere in the sky.
How high in the sky were you, like, just out over your hood on the horizon, or were they like straight up, like way up in the sky?
Like up in the sky, almost like a star, but a little bit bigger.
Yeah, but if it was stars, they'd still be there, my man. There's no doubt about that. Stars,
Right?
It wouldn't just disappear. If it was
Right?
if it was some weird, like I can only see certain stars at dusk, and I saw 20 of them, they'd still be there the next time you looked up.
Exactly what I was thinking.
So did anybody else in town see these? Was it in the newspaper? Was it on the news? Anybody talk about it at a bar the next night or the night after?
I'm not sure because I'm not from that area. My home is in Medford, Oregon.
Yeah.
So as far as I saw, yeah, nothing was mentioned.
That is, there's no explanation for that. You can't say it was an airplane. Even if it was a low-flying airplane, he'd see the plane. You can't say there were
Right.
stars because they'd still be there the next time he looked up. Somebody give me a rational explanation why there's 15 or 20 weirdly spaced stars in a straight line, or lights, just lights in a straight line. You look up once and they're there, you look up the next time they're not. Somebody give me a reason how that would be there. And everyone's going to say, well, that wasn't a very interesting story. Think about being the guy looking up and seeing that at night. Then you look up again and it's gone. And you didn't want to tell anybody because you like, no, it doesn't have it's not a story with a big climax. It's not. No fire in the sky. Nobody got sucked up into a alien saucer. But try to figure out, give me an explanation when somebody comes back and just tells you, there was a bunch of lights and I looked up and I looked back down at, the road.
Somebody said satellites.
15 or 20 in a row, and they all, I don't know.
I don't know about that.
And if something's that low that you can see it, they move. I've seen satellites with the naked eye. When the sun hits them just right at dusk and you can see one against the black sky, yeah. But they're moving. They're moving. You couldn't say they're just floating there.
How about drones?
3 years ago, it's possible. I guess it could be.
I'm just throwing stuff out there.
It could be.
Just throwing stuff out there.
But you have to, then you take into account the side note. There is a junction in the town of Weed, California, that is the 97, and it goes up through one side of the Cascades, and Highway 5, Interstate 5, goes up along the other side of the Cascades. And I'm going to tell you, there's a bunch of freaky stories on both of those roads over the past 50 years. That just seems to be the mecca of Bigfoot, aliens, and shit that happens to people. Now, maybe this is a short story. You can't explain it, though. No one can. Even a short story.
Right.
He's right in the heartland of where weird shit happens. I'm telling you, just so you know. All right, Justin, thank you for calling in, my man. I appreciate you. Yeah. Considering
there is a conspiracy theory that there is aliens living in Mount Shasta.
I know, boy, that's gaining speed too. There's actually a couple prominent scientists that are going, that might be true. I started digging into that. That's some weird shit. Yeah. And it's an ancient civilization and there's like evidence of it. Like you can walk up and see it and then people are like, okay, stop going there now. Like they shut it down and said, you can't go within a mile of this one spot. Why? No, because we said so.
Oh.
What? What the fuck does that mean?
And they can create their own climate.
Yeah, we'll do that one day. You know what? Just for you, Justin, we're going to do that. We're going to dive into that and have some talking on that subject. Okay.
All right, sounds good.
All right. Thanks for calling in. Letting us call you, Justin. Appreciate you, my man.
Bye, Justin.
All right, bye.
Bye bye. That was a short story. Didn't take up a lot of time, but everyone thinks because you're here to listen to the juicy stories. And some guy goes, I'm standing out in the desert, and then I'm by myself in the desert. Someone taps me on the shoulder, alone in the desert. I turn around and he's gone. Everyone goes, well, so what? That's stupid. Unless you're the guy getting his shoulder tapped on, then all of a sudden it's a big fucking deal. I'm just letting you know.
That's true.
All right, making sure I covered all the bases here. I want to make sure we took care of everybody's. I think we did. I think we took in a couple extra phone calls there. Some solid stuff tonight. Get our feet wet back because we missed last week's show. So we'll get some stuff. We now have a real producer who is going to start vetting some of these stories, getting some of the stuff. We're going to talk to everybody. We don't care if you got a short story or a long story. It's always going to be something we want to hear from you. It's an amateur radio hour, so we can do what we want. It's our radio station. They can't tell us no. We're in charge of it. But I do want to say thank you guys for chiming in. Thank you guys for listening in. Gen X Mom, would you like to say goodnight, Gracie?
Good night, everyone.
Thank you guys for listening to Off the Record with the Gen. We'll have some more stories for you next week. We hit and miss with these things. You just never know what you're going to get. You got to listen to the whole thing so you can get the vibe as it goes along. There's ebbs and flows. There's ups and downs. There's yin and yang, my man. You got to hang with us. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening. Not sure where you're chiming in from around the planet, AM, FM, Sirius XM, or perhaps you tuned in the Armed Service Radio Network. Remember two things in life. Number one, wherever you go, there you are. And number two, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. I'm out, baby.